Jack. All right. You got the stuff?
Yeah. All cleaned and oiled.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's get it on.
Who are these guys?
It's my theme music. Every good hero should have some.
Hot damn, it's time to get down to the jam. It's time to get down, it's time to get down, it's time to get down to the jam. I said it's time to get down to the knowledge, gonna get on down with the know. On the morning coffee show, on morning coffee with Keith, here on Pop Culture Minefield.
Excuse me, can I get a cup of coffee? Black? Can't you see we talking? White?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Wow, it seemed like forever since I've seen everybody.
Well, a week, more or less.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And look who we have here. Let's see.
The first one, you may know this guy.
You know what? Hey, G. I tried to get a hold of him, and he didn't pick up his phone. So I guess the only way he wants to talk to me is through here. Hello, James. Looks like he was the first. Let's see. We got Gambit. Hello, Gambit. And we also have Andy. And hey, Davy Dread. Hello.
And of course,
I remember seeing his name. Hey.
Oh, you're breaking up.
Wow. Oh, I am? Hold on. How about now?
Better.
Okay. Sci-Fi Monday. Hello. Let's see. It's JJ. Hello, JJ. Wow. And Real Popcorn Geek.
Hey, RPG, how are you, man?
Hopefully everybody's having a good start to their day. And hopefully James knows what kind of coffee he's having this morning. So this is I've just had a really, really long night. But now that I'm here, I'm slowly re-energizing and I'm ready to kick the show off. How have you been, Martin?
I'm in fine. Thank you for asking. Yes, I've been fine. Can't complain.
I can complain for all the good it'll do me. But you know what? Wow, everybody seems to be having a nice discussion about the movie Supergirl. I will say this to add to the whole Supergirl debate. I believe that the marketing department should just stick to what they do, which is just market the film. In my opinion, you're not doing your job if you're busy coaching people what to say to the media. I think Millie Alcott is a very good actress, as I saw with House of the Dragon. I really enjoyed her performance. So I've never had any kind of problem with her. As far as her interview, that was coaching from way back. There was no reason for her to say any of the stuff that she did other than to be coached and told what to say. My feeling on it is this. If you really want to know how to talk to an audience or how to get people interested, there's three people you should pretty much look to. At the top of the list is Arnold Schwarzenegger. That guy could sell a movie. It doesn't even matter if he has a cameo in it. He will go out and he will sell the blank out of whatever he's in. Okay. Second, Tom Cruise. He knows how to talk to audiences and he knows how to get people excited for whatever he does. And number three, Henry Cavill. You know, he is a fan himself. And while, you know, I know that Millie is working with and will be closely working with David Cornsweet, nothing against him. But Henry Cavill is, to me, part of that gold standard of how to actually work a film as far as getting people excited and, you know, knowing how to talk to fans and the media both. Okay. Millie, pay attention to those three names. You'll do fine. If you just stick to what they do. Okay. I think every actor and actress should be forced to recite Tom Cruise speech that he gave once the theaters and everything reopened. The one that he gave before his Mission Impossible film came out. Definitely the speech that he gave before Top Gun Maverick. You should learn those by heart and recite those. You know, I think a lot of people would do better reciting that, especially all those connected to Starfleet Academy. Look, you're going to have to get used to it, guys. Your show was cost way too much to do that bad in the ratings. That's just the long and short of it. And despite whatever anybody may think about the quality of what you produced, your show just cost way too much to not be the number one show streaming. You should be getting basically numbers like The Walking Dead during its first 5 seasons. You should be getting House of the Dragon season 1 numbers for that cost. And you guys weren't. So they cut you. It's that simple. So anyway, we're going to Gambit. He says, speaking of Tom Cruise, he's allegedly confirmed for a movie version of Miami Vice. Yeah, but wouldn't it be kind of cool if they had him play a government agent in that rather than one of the main characters? Again, I know a lot of people have very conflicted feelings when it comes to Tom Cruise, but the one thing you can definitely say is he knows how to treat audiences. He's very respectful when it comes to audiences, and he seems to be one of the few people still working in Hollywood that understands that they need us more so than we need them. So,
yeah. So, let's get into the show.
Let's get into it. So, we're going to start out with take care of a little news. As I said last week, we have entered convention season.
Yes.
There's just so much going on. And realistically, there are still, as amazing as it sounds to those of us that, you know, deal with a lot of this, there are still those people who have never been to any type of an event like this. And let me just say, look, these are fun. Okay. Look, there are not good people involved with a lot of different things, but trust me, coming in an event like this, if you are prepared and you do everything necessary to prepare yourself for it, you can still have a good time. My number one piece of advice is just wear comfortable shoes. You should expect to do a lot of walking, but it's worth it, especially if you go with the right group of people and the right mindset. Anyway, we have an upcoming event called Missouri Comic Con, and it's coming up this weekend. And it's located in the city of Springfield, Southwest Missouri. Ironically, the hometown of Brad Pitt and Kathleen Turner. It's April 11th and the 12th, and it'll be at the fairgrounds there. Trust me. If you are anywhere in and around Springfield, you can find your way to the fairgrounds. It's nice, and it's very hard to miss. But this weekend's guests will include, I was going to say drum roll, please, but you know, Jonathan Frakes, actor, director, producer, really guy, an actor who I've had the pleasure of meeting before. And again, he's everything he seems to be in person. Really nice guy, got a ready smile. And he's just someone who, he's just somebody who I really just, I like the way he acts. I like his performances. Everybody knows him as Commander Riker on Star Trek: The Next Generation. But I just like him overall. He seems to be just a genuinely nice guy. He's got a podcast that he does with his co-star Brent Spiner, who is also going to be here for Missouri Comic Con. So you'll get a chance to meet actor Brent Spiner, actor, singer, and just a major Broadway artist. I have been really enjoying their podcast and all the guests that they've had. In fact, the big irony coming up this weekend is that their current episode of their podcast is going to, well, not going, they've already done it, but their current episode is going to include actress Felicia Day. Okay. Probably one of the most professional geek actresses out there. Many of you may know her from Buffy the Vampire Slayer and from various other voiceover and video games. I just love her as a performer. She's just a lot of fun. Getting back to Star Trek, though, Armin Shimmerman will be making a return appearance to the Springfield area. He was here about 12, 13 years ago. I got a chance to meet him, and all you Buffy fans should definitely meet him. Now, I know, he's known as Quark in DS9, probably the best of the Berman Star Trek shows. Everybody in that cast just rocks. But he's also the Principal Snyder in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and has also, lent his voice and talents to several other major projects. So this weekend's your opportunity to get a chance to see him. Of course, the amazing Alan Tudyk, who is the man seemingly of endless voices. And while a lot of us may know him from the television series Firefly, and of course the movie Serenity, you can also see him in various films, usually lending his voice to a lot of Disney projects. The guy is just unstoppable and very funny. You can see him in the Sci-Fi Channel series Resident Alien. And of course, he's got a new podcast himself. We Were Aliens. No, We Were Spacemen. I'm sorry. We Were Spacemen is the name of the podcast that he has. And that has been very, very cool to listen and watch, especially on YouTube. Also, his co-star from Firefly and Serenity, Jewel State, is going to be here. Again, Jewel State, also of Stargate Atlantis. I know, Sci-Fi Mommy. Johnny and Brent. Or Brent and Johnny, I should say. Jewel State's one of those actresses that just seems to have an effortless way about her and is always convincing. I love her in everything that she's been in. And definitely this is your chance to get a chance to talk to her. Actress Jamie Presley, which I've enjoyed her in the hit comedy series Mom. And I just find her to be funny. She is really the secret weapon in a lot of different TV series that she's a part of. Okay? This is the woman who is just gorgeous. But she is a comedy genius. She is your secret weapon. You add her to any cast, and she will deliver big time. Of course, for a lot of you who grew up in the 80s, Anthony Michael Hall, one of the Brat Pack. And I must say that throughout a lot of the early movies that he was in, Anthony Michael Hall just looked like he was having a great time. 16 Candles, The Breakfast Club, and my personal favorite of all the ones that he did, which is Weird Science. But also he's part of the cast of The Dark Knight.
Yeah. He plays a reporter.
Yes.
Well, a TV news anchor.
Yes, but do you remember the name of his character?
Dude, don't ever ask me to remember any name.
I think they had him under Jack Ryder. And that also is the name of the guy who will become the Creeper, which is a character made very popular by Jack Kirby. And then, of course, there's a lot of people who enjoy the yes, JJ, the same Jamie Priestley who was in My Name is Earl. Yes. Thank you, Real Popcorn Geek. Anthony Michael Hall is also the star of the Dead Zone television series. And that ran for quite a while. But Randy Quaid is going to be here. Many people know him as Cousin Eddie from the Vacation movies. And I think this year. Oh, I'm sorry, D. Bud Martin. You're right. The Creeper was a Ditko creation, not Kirby. Thank you.
And welcome, D. Bud.
Yeah, welcome, D. Bud. Randy Quaid. This year marks, I think it's 20 years. It's either 20 or 30 years since Independence Day. So you get an opportunity to get your Independence Day poster signed by Randy Quaid, who really is, if you've seen the movie, he's definitely the hero.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay, D-Bud. Hey, keep lurking, my friend. Keep lurking. Let's see. Of course, actress Vicki Lawrence, who I must say I grew up watching her on the Carol Burnett show. And she is just an amazing talent. It always looked like they were having a fantastic time on the Carol Burnett show. For those of you under the age of 40, it was a long-running comedy program with some of just memorable skits. And, of course, you know, everybody had to watch. That was back when we only had 3 networks. So, you know, you were going to watch something. David Faustino from Married with Children. You know him as Bud Bundy. Yes, he's going to be here. And of course, Lucas Grabeel, who you may know from, let's see, they had him as part of the cast of, oh man, I hate it when my mind does that. Part of the cast
welcome
of
to my life.
Oh, T. Martin. He says his uncle was the lighting director for most of the Carol Burnett shows. Fantastic, dude. Wow. Anyway, Lucas Grabeel, who he was part of the Disney series. Wait a minute! Don't tell me. Oh man, I can't get it. I can't get it. I lost it. High School Musical. That's it. He was part of the cast of High School Musical, and he's also from the Springfield area. So, but he's appeared in Smallville and Halloween Town High, voiced a lot of characters. Wow. It seems only like yesterday he was graduating from high school and going out to Hollywood. I did not realize he's that age now. Huh. Oh, you take your eye off the ball for 1 second and things progress. But yes, meet Lucas and ask him lots and lots and lots and lots of questions about High School Musical and Smallville and Halloween Town High. For you horror fans, we have Kane Hodder, who I hear is an incredibly nice guy. I'm looking forward to meeting him. Let's see. Who else do we have coming? Wow. Steve Cardenas, and he is one of the many actors who have been lucky enough to I got a message. I'll let that go. One of the hold on. What is this? Real popcorn. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yes. He was young Lex Luthor and Connor Kent on Smallville. Got it. Okay. Steve Cardenas is from Power Rangers, one of the many actors who have appeared as a part of the Power Rangers and been a Power Ranger. So for all of you who grew up loving Power Rangers, you got another opportunity to meet one of the cast. Hopefully this is your favorite one. I've been lucky enough to meet quite a few of the Power Rangers, and they are awesome people. Let's see. And, of course, the incredible Dee Snider. For all of us who grew up in the 80s, Dee Snider is just one of those major talents that helped the 80s be the 80s. And as far as I'm concerned, he helped MTV become MTV as the lead singer of Twisted Sister. and then being a popular DJ for quite a while, hosting his own show. Of course, Lita is going to be here, and Kevin Nash is going to be here. Devon Dudley's going to be here. So for all you major wrestling fans out there, dude, come on. You've got to come and see all three of these personalities in person. Of course, it's Kevin Nash because Kevin Nash is cool. And Trish Stratus is one of my favorite all-time wrestlers, but I like Lita. I like Lita too. I like the fact she's going to come here, see everybody, sign some autographs, probably take a few pictures with people. And Devon Dudley, because he's cool like that. All of that and more will be here this weekend. So, wow. Right, Real Popcorn Geek, D. Snyder was in the horror movie Strangeland. Wow. So, we're also going to have there's quite a few other people that are going to be here, but that gives you a good idea of what the city of Springfield is going to be in for and what this event is going to be like Saturday and Sunday of this weekend. What do you think, Martin? How many of these events have you been to yourself?
Can't recall. There are not many, but I don't keep a tab on the number. I don't know. Whatever number I give you, I will be shitting you.
Well, what year was your first convention?
Convention per se. 17, I think.
2017?
Yeah, I think.
Wow. Man, you're making me feel real old here. Jeez.
Well, in a month, I'm going to another one. Star Wars convention.
Oh, cool.
Here in Mexico City. It's called JediCon.
Wow.
It's a revival of one con that was, by all means, killed by the pandemic. We didn't had it from 20. Okay, the last one was in before the pandemic was in 2019.
No.
And then they revived it last year. And so what? 5-year hiatus, and 3-4 of May, I think, is the next one, which of course I will be attending.
Cool. That's also my question for the chat. What year was your first convention and what was the name of the convention? Mine was Casey Con, 1983, downtown Kansas City. If I remember correctly, the guests were actor Judson Scott and let's see, we had Judson Scott played Khan's right-hand man in The Wrath of Khan.
Joaquin. And he was in Babylon 5 too, if I remember correctly. He was.
He did have a cameo in Babylon 5.
Well,
He also had
I
a.
wouldn't call it a cameo. He was the villain's puppet during the whole show. He was a uh, resuscitated man. They made a cyborg out of him and made him an assassin against his will.
Mm-hmm. Good series, Babylon 5. But
The series
yeah,
is the best TV show ever. Well, best sci-fi TV show ever. Followed very, very, very close by The Expanse.
yes.
And number
Also,
3 is Deepest Space Nine.
of course, Deep Space Nine. I also, I think Sandal Bergman was another guest they had. Actress, many people might know from Conan the Barbarian, Valeria.
Yeah.
But she was also in Xanadu, playing one of Olivia Newton-John's sisters. And from her famous guest appearance on Big Man on Mulberry Street episode of Moonlighting, which she was incredible, you know. Yeah, gorgeous woman.
Yeah, I
Um,
heard that some fortunate guy got the chance to meet her. I can't
That-
remember. I
that-
put my
that-
finger on who was
That was me.
Ah,
That was me. Yes, she was one of the guests at the very first convention I ever went to. And let's see. So I know there was it was those two, and man, I know there's somebody else I'm forgetting. Mark Leonard. Yes, Mark Leonard from Star Trek. He played Sarek.
and the first Romulan.
Yes, the first Romulan, and he was also the first Klingon that you saw in Star Trek: The Motion Picture. That was Mark Leonard underneath that Klingon makeup.
Interesting.
And yeah, and then they also had a representative of Lucasfilm there, which was important to me at that time because I wanted to work for George Lucas. But yeah,
Could you imagine if you had been hired for Lucasfilm and having that job until you went under the mantle of Kathleen Kennedy?
yeah, I probably would have been fired. I would have said something that would have gotten me fired. You know, yeah, yeah, I would have easily have gotten fired, easily, because I probably would have spoken up and said the wrong thing. So,
Or the right thing. At least the truth. Let's leave it at the truth.
yeah, I probably would have told the truth, which would have been not good for my future working there.
Oh my. RPG? You're a lucky dude.
Actually, yeah, you are RPG. Jeez. And it's Joe's Atmosphere, everybody.
Yeah.
Also lurking while doing yard work. Yeah.
Trick question.
Yeah.
If you only, by whatever limitations, or it may be money, it may be supreme power, or the fiery eyes of your wife.
Yeah.
You can choose just one replica. Connors or Kurgan's sword?
Oh, well, that's easy, Connor's. Because, well, I should say it would be Ramirez's sword that Connor
Oh,
inherited.
well, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know. Good to know.
And,
I would go
and
ballistic for Kurgans.
I have a replica of that sword.
The Kurgans or
No, of
the katana?
Yeah, the katana. I have a replica of that. It's I get to reach out and touch it every so often, and in fact,
I feel the quickening.
for RPG, here's what I did. The first time I went to Seattle to visit my son, and we went to the big museum that they had there to see all of the pop culture stuff they had there. And one of the displays, which I don't think I've ever shown you this picture, Martin, but I have my picture taken in front of the entire Highlander display. They
Nice.
have the swords. They have the McLeod sword, Kurgan's sword, and Ramirez's katana, along with the top coat that Ramirez is wearing, and the peacock feathers from when he first meets Connor, and the hat and gloves. And that I had to get my picture taken in front of that because I just loved Highlander so much. That's just one of those films that quintessential 80s to me, but also a lot of fun. And we have a question here.
Oh, we have two questions.
Oh, okay.
First one, Bo from James Jameson. Oh my God. I wouldn't say the social media killed the movie star. I would say social media gave them the ways to commit seppuku.
Yeah. You are correct. Yes. And whoa.
Yes, we
Six.
have.
Six is here with a question. It's a $10 super sticker.
Yeah, give me a second.
Thank you, Six.
Yeah, and it's Shiba Inu hugging a heart.
Aww.
Thank you, Six. Very, 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 very much. You're
Thank you.
So
Thank
generous
you
and kind.
Yeah.
Oh man, you're well loved in this channel.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me do this for Six. Thank you, Six. Thank you very, very much.
God damn, sexy kid. Whoa. Let me. What can I? Okay, this is for you.
For that, you get the head, the tail, the whole damn thing.
Okay, a question from my brother.
Question.
Let's see. He says, Keith, if you would have worked for George Lucas, can you imagine the respect and admiration your brothers would have had for him? It would have been glorious. Six. Yeah, you probably learned a lot of very useful things from Gary. I don't know what you would have learned from me. How to be a little bit more of a goofball, But thank you. You are way too kind. Stasis Geek. Afternoon, Stasis Geek. And that brings us to, wait a minute. What does George Lucas do? He's thinking of opening the Lucas Museum of Narrative Art in Los Angeles, scheduled for September 22nd, 2026. Yes, I know that's going to be big. That is going to be huge. And originally they were trying to find a place to build it. And my whole thing is like, wait a minute. If you're not basically trying to make an active pitch to have it built there, what are you doing? That's just free money. Personally, I was of the opinion that he should have tried to finance to get 2 museums built because he's got so much. You could basically create 2 different museums with all of the material and stuff that he has. You know, when I went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, that's the one thing I think you have to really, I think that's the one thing that kind of crossed my mind, is that the back area there where they keep all of the displayed items or items to be displayed, along with areas that when they receive something, you know, from someone, they first of all they have to get it out of its container, and they have, whether or not it's in good shape. Sometimes they have to fix certain things. Certain things may not work like they did. You know, they do all this stuff before they even display it, you know. And there's just so much material that Lucas had collected for so long. That's enough. There's enough material that you could run 2 museums off that easily. You know, just if you cover all the personal material that he's collected along with the material, I think Lucasfilm has stuff from pretty much every film they've ever worked on. Now think about that for a moment.
Done.
Once you get outside of Star Wars, that's a lot of movies. That's a lot of movies. Yeah, I think they have more than enough material to run 2 museums. And I think what they should have done was had the one in Los Angeles, which makes sense. And then they could have opened up another one in, say, Chicago. So they can make it easy for me to go. No. No, I'm not. Anyway, yeah, Gambit, you're not kidding. This is going to be huge. I'm sure it's going to be a pretty good size museum. Definitely should be as big as the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, if not bigger. You know, just because of the amount of material involved. Yeah, wow. And I think that takes us to our first big thing.
Oh yeah.
Now that we're outside of doing the whole news thing, I think we should get to one of our main stories for this particular episode, which is this year is there are many major anniversaries this year, and film, television shows, others, and for this particular episode, we will be looking at we'll be looking at 2 films. The 20th anniversary of the film The Prestige, and the 10th anniversary for Captain America Civil War. So we're going to start off with The Prestige.
Also known as Batman versus Wolverine.
Okay, technically. I like how you put that. That's good.
Featuring the Black Widow, no less.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I gotta say, The Prestige is one of my all-time favorite films. This is a gorgeous-looking movie, first and foremost. An incredible cast.
Yes.
I mean, realistically, There's a lot of MCU people in this cast. Now, you only named 2, but there's also an additional MCU actor in the cast that you skipped over.
You see, like I was doing it to slay somebody.
It's Rebecca Hall, who was part of the cast of Iron Man 3.
Yeah, well, I tried to forget Iron Man 3, so
What?
yeah.
What?
You can see that scene in Iron Man 1 with Mad Money when the guy say it's a weapons company that doesn't make weapons. Well, it's an Iron Man movie without Iron Man in it. No, that movie was the thing. Just think about it. They took one of the best lines of Iron Man ever. The freaking how was part of the club that forget things. The extremist virus.
Yeah.
And they fumbled the whole story.
Yeah.
They made, I swear to God, they made impossible. The Incredibles. The villain in Iron Man 3 was basically Syndrome.
Yes. Basically.
I want to destroy you because you passed me over. What? Okay, really? Yeah. And I'm gonna make everybody with superpowers. You're Syndrome.
Yeah. I still like it. I'm not saying it's a perfect film, but I still like Iron Man 3.
More power to you. I'm happy that someone enjoyed that because I wanted to enjoy it, and guess what? I didn't.
It happens. Remind me of this when we start talking about Captain America, because that also goes into Captain America too. Great cast, as I said before, including Roger Reese, who I've always enjoyed as a performer. Ricky Jay, who first time I saw him was on the X-Files, and so I happen to know that Ricky Jay, on top of being an actor, is also a magician. So I'm pretty sure he was doing a lot of tricks behind the scenes, and I'm pretty sure Christopher Nolan also had him as a consultant on the film. Which, for a film like this, yeah, you definitely going to need it. Andy Serkis, because, Andy Serkis is cool. David Bowie, because David Bowie is definitely cool. And then, Scarlett Johansson, Rebecca Hall, Piper Perabo, Sir Michael Caine, Christian Bale, and, of course, Hugh Jackman, because, Hugh's cool. And the other cool thing about this is that this is right in the middle of doing the Dark Knight trilogy. It really does say something when you can spend months working on a movie with someone, working on a movie with a particular director and crew, and you sign up to do another movie pretty much back to back after having completed and just go back to work and do something else with the same group of people. And it not be a sequel, though, to do something completely different. It just definitely says something about Christopher Nolan. I still personally think it was a mistake for Amazon not to get Christopher Nolan to be the guy behind the next Bond movie. He has been angling to do that for quite a while. And you can tell from the way he shoots a lot of his action sequences, you were definitely going to get something. Um, but The Prestige was based on a book, and I know that they made uh, they didn't make they didn't change so much as they decided not to do something that they did in the books. So they took out part of the the storyline for the book was just gotten rid of for the movie and concentrated on just one thing, which is the mystery, uh, the obsession that Robert has about Alfred. And as I said before, this is one of my all-time favorite films and definitely one of my favorite Christopher Nolan movies. I will say this, out of a lot of the movies that I have seen in my life, this one entered the top 3 with once you get to the end of the movie, the very end of the movie, and you realize what has been going on, it stays with you. I mean, there's no way you can shake what this movie does when you find out ultimately what this is about.
Well, the movie it's 20 years. I
Yeah,
think we're gonna spoil it.
No, I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. I'm not going to do that. I am not that guy. I believe in giving everybody an opportunity to see something, and this is a great movie. This is a great film. It deserves its moment, and it deserves anyone who has not seen it. You should, as soon as you're done listening to this and watching this, you should go and watch it. It is worth your time. Everybody is top notch. You have some of the best actors and actresses in the world in this film. And even behind the scenes, you know that everybody was just working their A off. The scene with Hugh Jackman and David Bowie, you know, where Robert meets Tesla. And the way they just lit that scene, when they talk about how they lit that scene, behind the scenes documentary that they made about it, it's just incredible. It's just no movie looks like this film. And this film could not be made today. I will say that. This film, you could not make this movie right now. Given the way Hollywood is, they would spend way too much time doing a lot of changes for reasons that have nothing to do with anything. You know, they would really, it wouldn't be the same movie. In fact, I could see them probably attempting not to cast Christian Bale and casting somebody else for a different reason. You know, you have the perfect cast in this film. And again, this is it's one more reason why I believe so much in Christopher Nolan's ability to just be able to entertain. You know, there are some people out there that have begun to like, oh, he's not all that. You better shut up, okay? Seriously. Christopher Nolan has earned everything. I can't think of one Christopher Nolan movie that has ever disappointed me.
Oh,
I can't.
I can.
I'm not saying that you can't look at a film and say, well, good, bad, blah, 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 blah. You know, everybody can have their opinion, but
I'm having with Christopher Nolan the same experience that I had with Tim Burton when he released Planet of the Apes.
Okay.
That this can be applied to both of them coming from my mouth. I would fight you defending those guys. All these movies, he is my favorite director. And then they released that movie. And I was, what? I cannot defend you this time. How can you do this to
Well,
me? It was for Burton was Planet of the Apes. Fucking hell. And for Nolan, it's gonna be the Odyssey. I'm check out for the first time in my life. I check out of a Nolan movie. I own even his students project,
mhm.
but I cannot get behind the Odyssey. I'm sorry.
I'm going to give
I
him a
can't.
chance. I'm going to give him a chance. I'm going to go see the Odyssey. I'm going to go
No,
see it.
The only chance that I am gonna give him is on streaming. I won't be going to theaters for that.
I understand. It's a lot of money to go to the theater nowadays, but I'm going to give him that opportunity because I so far have not been disappointed. Okay.
That's the first time for everything.
There is a first time for it. And if I am disappointed at the Odyssey, then I'll say so. But I still think it'll be a better investment than going to a lot of these other movies that they continue to try to put out that they expect you to pay good money for. And, and again, I just think Christopher Nolan's just one of those guys who really one of those professionals who just can pretty much just do almost anything. And I will say again, I know there are a lot of people out there that do not like his story and script for Man of Steel. I thought Man of Steel was fantastic with what he did. I just really, I think the whole of what was accomplished for DC during that period was mainly because of Christopher Nolan. I think the powers that be decided to roll with all that because of Christopher Nolan. And I applaud Christopher Nolan for not being an a-hole about it, letting Zack Snyder come in and just do his thing, but believing enough to at least be a producer on at least all of the films that he made for Warner Brothers during that period. And then signing up to just be a part of it for Justice League. Because I can't see Christopher Nolan rolling with changing directors and going out and getting Joss Whedon. I don't think he had anything against Joss Whedon personally, but Nolan, he knows. Yeah, he knew what he had. He knew who he was working with and believed in him enough to put his name on everything that he made. So to me, that sometimes you just gotta go with your gut and you gotta believe in people, and he did. And so as much credit as Zack Snyder as I give him for Justice League, I also give credit to Christopher Nolan and his wife and for believing in all of those films. So, but yeah, The Prestige is one of my favorite. And oh, wait a minute. Okay, I'm sorry. I seem to be missing a lot of your questions. So let me take a few questions here. It says, let's see, my brother James. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the Odyssey. Gambik says, I love 3 Star Wars films. The rest of it is a blur from my take. Yes. Real Popcorn Geeks asks, Inception was okay. Interstellar, meh. The Prestige, boring. Haven't seen Dunkirk or Tenet as of yet. I love Dunkirk. And again, another great cast. And Tenet I also liked. I also liked it a lot.
Me too.
Let's see. Gambit also asks, am I looking forward to Supergirl or Pretty Lethal? as I said at the beginning, I am a big fan of Millie Alcock. I like her a lot. I There are quite a few people that were disappointed when they did the time jump during the first season of House of the Dragon. I understood what they were doing. That didn't mean I wasn't upset to see her go. But I understood what they were doing. And uh, yeah, yeah. I liked seeing her. I think I'm gonna like this movie. Pretty Lethal. I can't choose between the two. I want to see them both. And the concept for Pretty Lethal is pretty freaking original and fun. Which is what it should be about. It should also be fun. You can come up with ideas all day long, but if the movie isn't fun, I don't really see what the point of it is. Let's see. Gambit. Inception is okay too. Interstellar, somewhere in the middle of good and bad. Real Popcorn Geek says Pretty Lethal was a bore. Oh, okay. Well, I haven't seen Pretty Lethal yet. Let's see.
Well,
what?
he says the Prestige was boring too. So
that's okay. Look, everything.
no, what I'm saying is, do not be, do not tune your expectations according to his liking, because obviously you have two very different ways to catalog something as boring or not.
Yeah. Let's see. Power Ranger Donnie. I shall see the Super Mario Galaxy movie at the cinema in May, despite mixed reviews. I want to see that. I would love to see it with my grandson, but he's a little too young to go to the movie theater to see this. But I hope to be able to sit down with him and watch it, because we had a good time watching the first one together. Let's see. And Gambit says, but Oppenheimer. Nope. It should have been televised instead of directed into a movie. Would have worked as a 15 episode miniseries, but nope. Nolan wanted to please himself. He had something to say. And again, another great cast. Again, I love Nolan. And so far, he's one of the few directors who's got this long record of just impressive films that's still out there doing stuff. He's worth the effort. He's worth the time. He's worth the money. He believes that, and also he believes in trying to be different. He believes in trying to truly find something to say and an original story. He's not just one of these directors that's just out there doing the same thing. RPG, they're tearing down the Kurtzman Trek sets. Yes, it's a good day.
Oh no! Oh no! I can't. No! Oh, please stop.
It's a good day. Yes. Again, I said at the beginning, and I'll continue to say it. I know that there are people out there that are big fans of what he was trying to do with Starfleet Academy. But I'm going to tell you something.
Trying to do or trying to undo?
Both. I'm going to tell you something. Alex Kurtzman might just be one of the nicest people out there, but I don't trust him. I've known enough people that have known him, that have worked with him, that have told me that things about him that I long ago could have predicted a lot of this stuff. And this was well before he got hired for. It's well before he took over Star Trek Discovery. You know, there's stuff about that guy that's just very shady, is the word. And I get it. All these actors coming out defending and whatever. Of course they're defending him. He paid them. You know? But that doesn't change how I think. I mean, I could probably go to a party, sit down, and have a beer with him. But I would also tell him that I think what he did to Star Trek as a whole is pretty crappy. You know, he didn't need to do that, especially after what he had admitted himself after working on the first J.J. Trek movie. You know, his statement, what he did say, pretty much then just since the beginning makes it seem like he did it just for the money. So, oh, hold on. I guess we must.
You missed it. I didn't. There you go.
Yes, I agree. Yep, John David Washington is good. He's really good in that film. But personally, I don't think I would want him to be James Bond. I'd want him to be Action Jackson.
Oh my God. Why didn't we have more movies of Action Jackson?
Again, it goes to all those people that think they're out there trying to do something, you know, trying to support black actors and everything else, need to realize that when it comes to how I think about things, a lot of the stuff that they end up doing, in my opinion, ends up being directly or indirectly racist.
And by the way, kid, tomorrow we're doing my Action Jackson.
Yes, I know.
But the thing is, I know this. I don't want to see Action Jackson without
Carl Weathers. Yeah, I understand. I enjoyed Carl Weathers too. He's in there with Vanity. No.
Yes,
yeah,
Vanity.
It's Vanity. I just Vanity and Craig T. Nelson. So yeah, we deserve more Action Jackson. We never got it. We could if we wanted to. You know, there's a lot of things we could get, but for some reason,
like Blade.
Like Blade, we could easily get a Blade movie, easily, but for some reason, it's just really, really difficult because these people don't want Blade. They want a female Blade because of reasons. And that's the reason why you can't make a Blade movie is because they haven't figured out a way to get audiences to accept a female Blade. They're dumb. These people are dumb, and they're willing to basically take a stack of money, like in The Dark Knight, and just burn it, rather than admit that they don't know what the blank they're doing, and to let somebody else do it and make money. Yahya Abdul-Mateen, he could be Action Jackson.
No one can be Action Jackson. Only Carl Weathers can be Action Jackson.
There's a lot of stuff that Yahya could do. A lot of major films that I think he would be perfect for. Unfortunately, Hollywood is so stuck up in this idea of, well, now we got to take stuff we already own and make even more money by race swapping. So we can do two things at the same time. We can trick people into going and paying for something that we already own, that we've already technically given them once before, but also show that we really care about Black artists and blah, 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 blah. And it's all a trick. It's a trick. Okay. It's just better to adapt books and stories about Black characters and by people that look like me rather than just race swapping, so that you can still make money off of something that you would have made money off of before. I mean, that all you people out there that keep talking about how there's nothing original, don't you think that just by race swapping a story that you've already seen before, that you're still getting something that you've been given before? You know, it's just all dumb. Really dumb, because no one that looks like me, the basic thing that I get from all of this stuff is this. According to Hollywood, it's been almost 45, almost 50 years since Star Wars, right? So nobody that looks like me could have ever come up with their own Star Wars, could have ever come up with anything original. So in order to give them that, we just got to race swap and do other things to get us in Star Wars so we can actually see ourselves. That's BS of the highest order. That has its own area code of funk when I hear stuff like that. They just don't want anyone to become, they want anybody new to introduce any new ideas and become wealthy. That's really what it comes down to. Paramount is launching its own book division. About darn time. You know, now that Kurtzman is no longer something that they're going to have to worry about, they should undo the order that they sent out to all the books and undo the damage they did with all the Kurtzman stuff. You know, they could easily look.
Wait.
Oh, my brother. Okay.
I need to interject here.
Yeah.
They made Action Jackson toy lines?
Oh, I didn't tell you that part. No, this is years before the movie. Back when I was like 8, 9, 10 years old, there's a toy line called Action Jackson, a black action figure. And that's really where the name came from for the movie. That's where that came from.
Nice.
Yeah. The Action Jackson movie. Yeah. Let's see. The Action Jackson movie was good, but it should be remade. But my real point is they should re-release the toys. I agree. They should re-release the toys, or at least make new versions of it. Because the Action Jackson toys, see, if your parents couldn't afford to get you some of the toys that they were putting out in the 1970s, they could always get you an Action Jackson figure. Always. What? No, you can't get it. Oh, it's too expensive to buy an Evel Knievel. It's too expensive to buy the $6 Million Man. It's too expensive to buy JJ Arms. Hey, look, it's Action Jackson. There you go. Let's see. The end result becomes more about the race swap and less about the project itself. You're correct. And again, since they started doing this in Hollywood, you notice people that look like us, there's very few of them that are getting the opportunity to not only write, but direct things anymore. It's all still the same people, pretty much all the same people making all the same money. The only difference is they take something they already own, and they've learned how to sell it to you twice by doing the whole race swap thing, so they can appear to be like they're doing you a favor, rather than giving opportunities to tell different stories. It's sick, and it's sad, and it's wrong. You know, there are a multitude. I've said it before in the show. You should have a lot of movies out there about characters of color that you don't have to race swap. You don't have to alter something. Those stories are out there. But it's just that there are so many lazy people that have ascended to high heights who actually think that taking something like a well-known property like Star Wars or Star Trek or Doctor Who and just sort of changing and swapping races of characters to allow them to continue to make money on something that they were going to make money on anyway if they kept it going the way that it always had. That way they don't have to actually give a big break to an original idea by someone that looks like me. And they still control the IP. So they have control, but they're able to make themselves appear like they're doing everybody a favor and all saintly and stuff. Oh, it's a con, is what it is. If you really want to do something, start approving original projects by people of color and by women who actually have something original to say. Don't just race swap. Race swap doesn't cut it. We've been doing it for years. It really doesn't work. All you're doing is funneling money to the same people who have always been making money. Everybody that has made money before is still making money. It doesn't do anything. Sci-fi Mombi, very well. It's how I feel, Mombi. Seriously, it's a lot to look like me, to be surrounded by fans, and I get it. There are lots of people who are quote unquote not represented, and that's fantastic. But my response to that is, don't you think that having new voices who see things differently with new ideas would be able to provide what many out there say is missing? You can't do that if you continue to use the same ideas and you just sort of switch someone's race or switch a character's sexuality and try to cut and paste your way to being seen as someone who is virtuous, rather than giving an opportunity to someone to actually create something new. You didn't have to do all that stuff to Star Trek, mainly because Star Trek didn't need it.
Well, according to Jason Isaacs, it did.
Yeah, I know. But they were motivated by money. They're not being motivated by trying to help. And again, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I find it kind of interesting that in all of the projects that he did in the years leading up to Star Trek Discovery, that Alex Kurtzman didn't really seem that interested in Black Lives Matter and the NAACP Image Awards. They gave out awards. The NAACP Image Awards was something that he was not that concerned with when he was doing other TV shows and movies. And suddenly he gets in charge of Star Trek, and suddenly now it's got to be this platform that he has to use this platform to get out the message. BS. This guy's track record creatively sucks. It just does. All you did was 10 years of delaying someone who was well on their way to basically finding their way outside of Hollywood, because everything they were touching was turning to crap. That's what was happening.
I think they forgot one universal truth, and it is that nobody likes a hijacker.
Yeah.
That's it. Now, I'd like to address two very interesting comments. This one, Cape Fear makes me nervous. I hope that Max Cady is still down and out bad guy. I saw the trailer and my God, all my fears were dissipated by Bardem's acting. My God, he's creepy. Katie is creepier than De Niro's version, and that's
Oh,
saying a lot.
that is saying a lot.
He's
I
got, oh my God, his character sold me.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
ready for that show. I hope I'm not wrong, and I hope everybody else is reading at the same level that they put to Bardem's character. But imagine imagine the guy that played that psychopath in No Country for Old Men playing another kind of psychopath like Max Cady. Oh, dude, haven't seen the trailer yet, kid?
haven't seen the trailer yet.
Oh,
but,
you have to, man.
Yeah, I know, and I know I will see this new version of Cape Fear. Let me at least conclude what I was saying before, and then we will get to this. Let me leave everybody with this one last thing. Having grown up in the 80s, one of my favorite TV shows, I think it was Thursday nights. It was Thursday nights on CBS, right? And I was watching on CBS, they had the premiere of a show about a former operative who had retired and who had decided to leave the business. And he had decided to get his life together, settle down, and reconnect with his son, who is now pretty much a grown man. So he'd missed being able to raise him. And he decides to kind of work with people who need him. And he decides to rent out his services to help those who really need his help and his skills, so that he can kind of balance a lot of what he was able to do in his professional life. And he puts in an ad, and people come and each week find him, hire him. Some of these people don't have a lot of money, and they don't have anyone that can stand up for them. And I enjoyed watching The Equalizer. Now, having Denzel Washington come along years and years and years and years later, and you race swap the lead character from The Equalizer, it's cool. But I remember even thinking back then, this is going to sound pretty weird because this was a thought that I had when I went to go see Denzel's version of The Equalizer. I thought, wouldn't it have been cool to just have Denzel do Action Jackson? Just to be Action Jackson, since Action Jackson's supposed to be a combination of Shaft and James Bond in a way. Because Denzel could have pulled it off. Everything that you've seen in The Equalizer could have easily have been a new version of Action Jackson. Easily. Now, why do you make those changes? Well, because everyone who owns the rights of the Equalizer EP gets to make money. That IP hadn't been making money for a while. Well, now they make money. You're selling the same product, albeit to a new generation, and you've race swapped to keep the whole IP going as you say. I'm just saying, given all the changes that they made to the character, because for a lot of you who have been paying attention, the Equalizer, yeah, what I described wasn't exactly the Denzel Washington version. He's got no kid, no ex-wife to talk to. That's because they made changes to the character. You're basically got a whole brand new character out of this. I mean, you're not even really doing an adaptation of the original series. You're just using the name. That's pretty much the only difference. They took the name, Robert McCall, and they took the Equalizer and everything, and basically he's an ex, guy with the government. Everything else is different. So, and then you do a TV version. And, again,
No.
I've said it before. What would it have hurt to have just done an Action Jackson movie starring Denzel Washington? I mean, there's still people out there who have never seen the Equalizer television series and don't even know that those movies are loosely based on a television series from the 1980s and one of the coolest TV series from the 1980s. That show was so cool. And the episode with Adam Ant, I can't bring myself to describe who Adam Ant is because that would spoil the story. But I always thought Adam Ant was a really talented guy. And after that episode, I definitely thought he had a future acting, but the character he played was despicable. And I wanted Robert McCall to just take him out back and just empty an entire clip into him. But The Equalizer was one of those shows that was just so cool.
Yes, it was.
And again, as somebody said, who said that? It's my brother. Equalizer, coolest themes on TV. One of the coolest themes on TV. And it wouldn't have been nothing to have turned that into just an updated Action Jackson movie with one of the coolest James Bond types out there. Hey, but don't worry. We're going to be seeing Kurtzman again. I hear he's pitching. And one of the rumors, and I'm going to spoil this because, one of the things that I hear rumored that he's pitching is an all-new version of the book series. The all-new version of man. I can see the original actor in my head. Oh man, I am so bad at this. Matt Helm. He's going to do a new Matt Helm based on the books. A new Matt Helm, either TV series or a series of movies. And he's already looking at race swapping the lead character, Matt Helm. He's already put it out there. And again, I say, why? Why? Because there are a lot of people under the age of 35 who have no idea who Matt Helm is, first and foremost. So what's the point of race swapping? We're getting ready to do a major in-depth reaction tomorrow to Action Jackson. Why couldn't he do Action Jackson? I'm telling you, it's a game. It's a con. They do it on purpose because, you know, they really don't mean it. They really, really don't. They did, instead of taking an established literary character, they would go and find, and you know, it was really that important to lift up and have more people of color be present in film and TV. You could go to a black author and get the rights to their book series. But I said it before and I'll say it again. It's bullshit what he's doing. Because Alex Kurtzman got rid of a black author who had wanted to write for Star Trek. He has a pattern of getting rid of really talented. There are many talented people who wanted to work on Star Trek when it was announced there was a new Star Trek series coming. And he skillfully got rid of every single one of those people. It's a con job. He doesn't care about me or anyone that looks like me. He cares about keeping his name out there because he's in the middle of basically figuring out a really messy way of just basically not ever being hired again. Because he's not good. He's not good at what he does. He's just not. So, anyway, that does it for the Prestige. Now let's talk about Captain America Civil War. Captain America Civil War is a film that I think wasn't originally planned for the MCU. At least not in the form that it was. The idea for Captain America Civil War mysteriously came to Kevin Feige. And he presented it to the writers. Now, people give me a hard time because of the way I talk about it. Well, let me help you with something. Captain America Civil War was really the changes. Look, that project was originally meant to be Captain America 3. Okay, there is a kind of formula that you have for doing a trilogy. Iron Man's trilogy, Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, was to allow you could actually watch all three of those films and pretty much get a nice beginning, middle, and end to a story. Okay? Technically, that's what you want to do with trilogies, right? What happened to Captain America 3? There is no end.
It is not a Captain America movie. It's an Avengers movie.
That's basically it. That's the reason why it's, as a Captain America movie, it's not as good as it could have been. I mean, the basic story is still underneath a lot of flashy stuff that they put in there. But you have to ask, well, why would they do all that? Well, I'm going to tell you. They did it because Kevin Feige knew what was coming. He knew what Warner Brothers was getting ready to do with Batman v Superman. He knew it. He had to have. You don't make the kinds of changes that he made, according to the screenwriters, and when he did it. That's the other thing. April, I think, is when production began on Batman v Superman. Okay. So actually, no, it was March. I'm sorry. March is when production began on Batman v Superman, right? They would complete production in December. of the same year. So if we were with them right now, this would be month 2 of production on Batman v Superman. Okay? Most films usually take about 3, maybe 4 months to do. Maybe even 5 months on the outside. This is way more than 5 months. They took a long time to shoot Batman v Superman. And in the time that they did, by April, they were, I think, MCU was in pre-production on what eventually would become Captain America Civil War. They had to have more than one version of the script. They had to have one version of the script where Steve and Tony are at odds. And then they did another version of the script that didn't have Tony in it at all. And this is the part that you really have to understand. This was outside of their deal with Robert Downey Jr. Okay? This very carefully negotiated contracts they had, they were outside of their contract with him. Meaning that once you go outside the contract, the way that it had originally been written, Robert Downey Jr. ended up making way more money on this one movie than he did for any of the other films that he did for the MCU because it was outside his contract. But why did Kevin Feige want to spend all that money doing something that wasn't originally planned? Because he knew that he knew what Warner Brothers was getting ready to do with Batman v Superman. He's a chess player. And that's the reason why Marvel always does this whole thing where, well, we don't really need a script. We just sort of film some stuff. Because they're doing it right now for Doomsday. They're playing the same game. We don't actually have a script. We'll just sort of film some stuff, you know. Again, I don't know how Doomsday's going to go. It may actually turn out to be a really good film. But this whole thing of just filming by the seat of your pants, you know, it could turn out to be really, really bad or really, really good. But what I do know is that when Zack Snyder was working on Batman v Superman, that was also at the height of Warner Brothers and their executives basically interfering a lot with what Zack Snyder was doing. I know a lot of you don't like hearing that, but, you know, it's exactly what was going on. That's part of the reason why Christopher Nolan stuck with Zack Snyder for so long. You know, the ultimate cut of Batman v Superman is the version that Snyder had originally been working on and wanted to put out. The theatrical cut is the version that the studio wanted put out. So from the very beginning, as I've been saying all along, I'm not saying that Zack Snyder is a perfect filmmaker, but the Warner executives were idiots. There is a reason why a lot of those people were not with the company when David Zaslav took over. And they had a hard-on dislike for Zack Snyder. That's just the truth. That and the fact that information that should have been kept under wraps, Kevin Feige knew. That's the reason why you put the Avengers basically in the movie. Because he knew that the Justice League were going to be making a cameo appearance in Batman v Superman. It's that simple. From what I could tell, originally, the basic story that they had for Civil War, meaning Steve and Bucky, that is built on the bare bones of the original idea that they had. Steve, Bucky, and I think it's T'Challa. That was it. You know, and in my opinion, you really don't need much beyond that. Seriously, the basic story that you have within there, that's really what you need. And for some reason, Kevin Feige decided, no. We need to have even more Avengers in this film. Well, why? Why do you need all the rest of them? You have some great actors in this film. And considering what the ultimate end of this film actually was, seriously, you only needed Bucky and Cap and T'Challa. Everybody else is negotiable. And ultimately, when you think about it, it's nothing but cameo appearances. It's nothing but just like, you know, it's a lot of nostalgia bait. It's an exciting film, but it's definitely not one of my favorites, and it's one of the worst third act movies I've ever seen. It's the worst because it doesn't really end the story that you were building with Steve. You've left it dangling because you turned it into a pseudo Avengers movie because you wanted to show up Warner Brothers and Zack Snyder. I mean, yeah, the movie made money, but in the end, you screwed yourself because you haven't ended the story. You know, Iron Man got a great story out of this. And as I said before, you could skip all the other MCU films and just watch all 3 Iron Man films. It's got a beginning, middle, and an end. Seriously, I mean, it's well thought out, well put together, and it makes sense. And again, Iron Man 3, I mean, his biggest problem really is the arc reactor in his chest, which by the end of the movie is no longer much of a problem at all. So that ends Tony's trilogy there. What did you do for Steve? You did jack squat. You gave him 2 movies, and then you sort of just left it. I mean, it's pretty much what you did. You walked out on the story. I may not have liked ultimately what they ended up doing in Thor's trilogy, but they at least found a way of leaving him different. I mean, he starts out as the son of someone very powerful and looking to take over. And by the end, he's become a parent himself. In many ways, a lot like his dad. You know, loss of an eye and everything. You at least, again, you have a trilogy. But really more than one, really. But yeah, it's Captain America Civil War is a very well filmed movie. The action sequences are incredible. You get to meet T'Challa, you get to meet Peter Parker, you get to meet, you get to catch up with the rest of the Avengers. you know. But instead of having a movie that could have led to, get this, that could have led to an action scene, which probably should have been Cap and Bucky versus the super soldiers, Russian super soldiers. Oh, that would have been something. No, we're just gonna skip over all of that because reasons. So we can fit the Avengers in here because Zack Snyder's about to eat our lunch. So it just never made any sense to me why they did that with that film. And again, it's good for Avengers fans, but it sucks if you really think about Steve's story because you just sort of left it. You just sort of left it dangling. So I don't know. Gambit has a lot to say. Yeah, I can tell, Gambit, you are not a Zack Snyder fan, and there's nothing wrong with that. You like what you like. My whole thing is that Snyder just wanted to make the whole Superman thing, and basically found himself doing this for the powers that be at Warner Brothers to basically direct Justice League. And I think they were taking out a lot of their frustration on Snyder because they couldn't find a way of convincing Christopher Nolan to do it. Basically, that's really the way that I had learned it. That Nolan turned him down, and that ever since Nolan presented them with Zack Snyder, the powers that be at Warner, the people back then that were the powers that be at Warner, just sort of, lots of passive aggressive BS towards Zack Snyder. So, didn't say he wasn't. Yeah, nothing that I said. I'm just saying, when you let a lot of personal stuff interfere with your ability to be able to make money, and when you start to affect the money, you've lost your darn mind. Seriously, that's Warner Brothers. That was Warner Brothers' real problem. You had a lot of people who were acting like
The Joker.
They didn't look at the fullness of what they were doing. If they had actually wanted to find someone to direct the Justice League film, I'm sure they could have gotten Joss Whedon. They could have planned it out to have Joss Whedon direct it. But they were being such little about the whole thing. They felt the need to put pressure on Zack Snyder because, he happens to be friends with the guy who they really wanted to make the whole thing. The guy who told them, this is not my bag. I don't do this kind of thing. And they got butthurt about it, is really what it came down to. And it's not surprising if they dropped the ball and ended up, even after everything they did, and they still ended up pissing him off to the point where he left Warner Brothers because, Christopher Nolan had an exclusive contract with Warner Brothers. So all those movies he's been making right up to now, all those could have been Warner Brothers films. But because they pissed him off, he left and decided to, do things for other people, starting with Oppenheimer. That's the real reason why you don't have a lot of those executives that stuck around when David Zaslav took over. Zaslav took one look at everything and went, you guys are idiots. You got to go. So, yeah, you're right, Joe. It is. It's an Avengers movie. It's not a Captain America film. Captain America's in it, but it's an Avengers movie. It was turned into an Avengers movie because Kevin Feige thought the Avengers would be a better counterpoint rather than making a well-made Captain America 3 movie and putting it out there. And again, if you're really being honest about that story, the story still rests on really all of that, you know, all of those actors. And you do have some great actors. I'm not gonna, I'm not trying to make anything about uh, uh, the actors from Civil War, but you have a lot of great actors in that film. But if you were to really just focus directly on the basic plot and keep it focused based just on Steve Rogers, as a Steve Rogers movie, it's not that good. It doesn't do anything. Your main focus should have always been Steve Rogers and Bucky and T'Challa, and Zemo, really. Those are your four. That's who your story should have rested on. But because Warner Brothers was doing Batman v Superman, they, MCU needed to have their own Cap versus Iron Man, and that really is what they were doing. And basically just making an Avengers movie. So, but a great cast for Civil War. I think, it's got Anne Russo in it, who I think is married to one of the Russo brothers. John Slattery, Hope Davis, Alfred Woodard, Marissa Tomei, Martin Freeman, the legendary William Hurt, our good buddy Frank Grillo, Daniel Bruhl, because, he's very good at Zemo, Tom Holland being introduced as Peter Parker, Emily Van Camp, who I also felt that if they had focused this as a Captain America movie, her character would have been featured more. Paul Rudd, because Paul Rudd's cool, Scott Lang, Elizabeth Olsen, Paul Bettany, Chadwick Boseman, Chadwick Boseman, come on. Seriously. Greatest T'Challa in this movie. Jeremy Renner, Don Cheadle, Anthony Mackie, Sebastian Stan, Scarlett Johansson, Robert Downey Jr., and of course, Chris Evans. Again, you didn't really need Don Cheadle in the film. You didn't need Robert Downey Jr. in the film. You didn't need Scarlett Johansson in the movie. You needed more Steve Rogers, more Bucky Barnes. You needed more T'Challa. Needed more Sharon Carter. That's what you needed. And all the rest of this stuff is just a massive attempt at being able to try to take away whatever Warner Brothers was trying to do. And that's it. And now you're left with sort of like this odd thing because really you only have 2 Captain America movies. So,
Hmm.
what?
What is even worse for me personally? It's not that we just got robbed of a Captain America centered movie,
Mm-hmm.
but they use 2 movies to make the audience care for Sharon, only to make her a villain in the TV show.
Yeah,
The
which
fuck?
also was a mistake. I thought, look, everything they did on Disney Plus, in my opinion, ultimately has been a mistake. They just never should have done it, and they never been able to equal what they had been able to accomplish when they had the Marvel characters on Netflix. You know, it's for one thing, that entire thing was just done with a different group of people. You know, having everything under Kevin Feige was a mistake. First and foremost, I'm not saying Kevin Feige's not a very talented guy. He is. He's very talented. Very talented. You know, um, but I think it was a mistake to put everything under Kevin Feige. I just do. Because I haven't seen uh I haven't seen anything since Feige's had everything put underneath him that says that he's really good at balancing everything out. The movie stuff that he did is perfect. But the moment you start adding in uh, Disney Plus stuff and bringing in the Netflix characters, and that's when you start seeing problems. Problems in terms of the ability to be able to uh, pretty much keep a straight thought in a lot of these plots. Everything gets way overcomplicated, and it just, oh, geez. It just, there's a reason why everything, once you get to phase 4, just falls apart. You know, um, yeah, it's, I love this. I do. It's a good movie, but it could have been a great film. It could have been a great um, uh, Captain America film. But you just didn't need to have all of these people that were a part of it. That's all. Just lots and lots and lots of overkill.
I have conflicting positions about this movie, to be honest. But it's that, in the words of Akiro, that is other story.
Mm-hmm.
That I can make a whole show up talking about that movie, both positives and negatives. And the negative thing for today is we have reached our limit and we left. We are out of time for discussing Buck Rogers. I don't know if you agree. We should do a whole show about Buck Rogers from
Probably. Well, we should.
Inception to
Well,
Gilles
well,
Gerard.
we could just do a whole show about the icons of science fiction, starting with Buck Rogers, because Buck Rogers really is the icon of science fiction of the 20th century and beyond. Everything that we had going in science fiction, you can attribute to Buck Rogers, because Buck Rogers was created at a time when we didn't even have man had yet to go to space. We didn't know when Buck Rogers was created. We didn't know if we could put people in space for any real period of time. Heck, we didn't even know if we could get away with putting objects, man-made objects in space.
What are you talking about? We haven't yet. The earth is flat. Everything is a cover up.
Oh, okay. I forgot. Okay, yeah. That's what it says in my notes here. I'm sorry. I'm going off script.
Oh, shoot. I forgot my medicine today.
Oh, one last thing in closing out the whole Captain America Civil War thing. Let me just put this out there. Jeff Loeb, the comic book guy. Jeff Loeb. He's the reason why all the Netflix shows worked, because he was the guy in charge of Marvel Television. When Kevin Feige decided to go and jump over everybody's head and go to the big boss and demand that everything be put under him, he got Jeff Loeb fired technically. And I said it before and I'll say it again. Notice what happens to all of the Marvel TV stuff that they start to do once Jeff Loeb is no longer in charge of Marvel Television. It all falls apart. Under Jeff Loeb, we had Legion. We had the Netflix shows. The Runaways. Not everything is perfect, but it didn't have to be. It was good stuff. And a lot of what they had for Marvel Television was still better than a lot of the stuff we have on Disney Plus. A lot of the Disney Plus Marvel shows sucked. And if Warner Brothers and DC Studios are smart, what James Gunn should have done was he should have hired Jeff Loeb to take care of DC TV and run it that way. You know, Jeff Loeb's a comic book guy anyway, but he also knows how to work with television. He knows how to get stuff made and how to get stuff done. So, anyway, Buck Rogers we'll do a whole show about Buck Rogers. We'll tie it all together. We'll make this about honoring the legacy of this character and what they were. And for all of you who only know Buck Rogers because of the Gil Gerard show, we're going to teach you a few things. The Gil Gerard series made a lot of changes to the story of Buck Rogers. A lot of changes. We'll save that. Let's get to some of these comments here, because I like our people in here. Let's see. Gambit says Civil War 2011 is okay. Let's see. Avengers Doomsday is due to premiere on December 18th, 2026. Yeah, that's what it is for now. I instead of calling it Doomsday, they should just call it Avengers Cluster F, because as of right now, that's really what we're looking at. Let's see. Sci-fi mommy says, I agree. I had to go watch the Netflix series to even get a clue. Yeah, I know. When you're dealing with someone that knows what they are doing, Jeff Loeb was the proper guy. I still think Jeff Loeb should be in charge of. Technically, Jeff Loeb should have been put or stay in charge of Marvel Television because I think he was really good at it. But hindsight and all. Let's see. Real popcorn. Okay. Gambit says Buck Rogers was made as a 1939 serial. But before that, it was first made in 1934 as a comic book. Yeah. The story goes back to Amazing Stories Magazine. 1928 is really what we're looking for. 1926. 1926. 1928. No, I'm sorry. 1928 is when the story first premiered, which means that Buck Rogers will be turning 100 in 2 years. The Buck Rogers IP will be at the century mark in 2 years. That also means that Superman will be at the 90. Yeah, we'll hit 90 in 2 years also. Wow. That is weird. Superman at 90. Gosh. So weird. That means Batman will be hitting 90 in 3 years. Jeez. People also forget that Buck Rogers was on TV twice. There was a Buck Rogers television series in 1950. And then 1981.
Oh my God. RPG. These years since the excellent Mario Van Peebles solo was released. God damn. Dude, I love Mario Van Peebles. I don't care. But
I love him too.
solo, god damn, that movie was
It's not everybody's favorite, man. It's not everybody's favorite. When do things hit public domain? Too quick if you're Marvel and DC. It's going to happen like this. It's going to start with Superman first, Batman, and then 1 year after Batman goes in, DC has 6 characters going right into public domain. 7 characters go right into public domain 1 year later. So the Justice Society, which is Hawkman, Green Lantern, Dr. Fate, let's see, Green Lantern, Dr. Fate, The Flash, and Wonder Woman all go into public domain together, along with Robin the Boy Wonder. And then there's the thing that we're not supposed to talk about because you don't hear about this. I'm going to say it out loud. Marvel loses its big 3 that same year. When DC loses the Justice Society and Robin, Marvel is going to lose the Human Torch, Submariner, and Captain America that same year. That's the reason why you don't hear anybody talking about it, because Marvel doesn't want you to know that. In fact, their only saving grace is the fact that Stan Lee took over in the 1960s, so that still gives you another 30 years. So you still got another 30 years to get to everything else, basically. So another 30 years of Fantastic Four, another 30 years of Spider-Man, all the stuff that Stan did starting in the 1960s with Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko and everybody else. Yeah, you got another 30 years on that one. But I think Iron Man goes in, I think 1950, 1956. I think if I remember correctly. So Iron Man, Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, Barry Allen, The Flash, they all go around the same time. So there you go. Let's see. Real Popcorn Geek. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Time to wrap.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. We can save a lot of this other stuff about Buck Rogers for when we did when we do our big Buck Rogers show. But it's looking like at this point, wait a minute. I know there's one more thing. Hold on. I'm missing something big. Oh man, I can't believe this. My mind. I know there's one more thing. Hold on. I know that man. I can't remember. We'll have to save for the next show. Yeah. I know that there is a possible rumor, and I've talked about this before. There is a rumor that part of the reason why they changed Submariner so much is because there may have been a mistake made with the paperwork concerning public domain, IP, and all that. That both the Human Torch and the Submariner may already be in public domain. Somebody at Marvel or Disney screwed up, and that may have already gone into public domain way sooner than they were expecting. So, and Real Popcorn Geek, once something goes into public domain, it's not everything. It's just the way that thing initially was. I learned that with the whole Mickey Mouse Steamboat Willie thing. You can't just use Mickey Mouse. It does not mean that you get a chance to use Mickey Mouse in all the different versions that he had throughout the years. What it means is that version of Mickey Mouse, the way he appeared in Steamboat Willie, that's what's in public domain. If you attempt to use any other version of Mickey Mouse after that, the Disney Corporation will have free access to basically take you to court and take all your stuff. That's basically the long and short of it. You leave yourself open to legal entanglements. And it's going to be the same thing with Superman. When Superman goes, that does not mean you have access to everything. It only means you have access to that version of Superman that was under that copyright for that period. Okay? The way he looked, that first story, all of that. If you attempt to do anything like, say, Kingdom Come Superman or whatever, Warner Brothers, Paramount can actually take you to court and pretty much put you on the street. So, yeah, there is no one thing allows you everything. And the reason why I know that is because it's based on the James Bond ruling, the James Bond legal ruling. When it came to Thunderbolt, the gentleman that had come up with the plot for Thunderbolt along with Ian Fleming for years tried to tie everything up in court and said that just because he helped with that one story, that when Ian Fleming died, that gave him access to control the Bond character and all the other stuff he didn't work on. And courts for years have been telling him, no, that's not what that means. So there you go. That is something that I do know. You can't just backlog it from that. You can't do that. So, and the spirit also, that to me is one of my favorite things. The person who is credited with having, quote unquote, invented the spirit is not the person who actually created the character.
And with that,
yeah, that's okay. That's how I'm going to end the show. Hate to have crushed your big plans there, but if you're willing to wait a little bit, it'll eventually get to what you want. So, anyway, I want to thank everybody for having a really, really good show. I would like to start with Power Ranger Donnie, Stasis Geek, of course, the lovely Six, D. Bud Martin, Real Popcorn Geek, JJ, James Jameson, Sci-Fi Mombi, because Sci-Fi Mombi's cool like that, Davey Dread, and Morrow, Gambit, because Gambit's cool like that, and of course, the G, James, my brother. And again, I want to just thank everybody for coming in, enjoying, asking questions, being interactive. Without you guys, really, I'm just a dude sitting here talking to himself. Yes, Sci-Fi Mommy. Are you going to be at Missouri Comic Con? That's the big question. Hopefully, I'll get a chance to see you there. But yeah, I want to thank Martin, because without Martin, I really am just a guy sitting here talking to himself. And I'd like to thank all of you who are currently watching this. And if you're not watching us live, you're probably watching it at a later date. So I just want to thank you. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And of course, if you have any questions when we're not doing the show, don't hesitate to reach out, email us. And again, don't be a stranger. We have all kinds of programming coming up here on the Pop Culture Minefield Network, especially as we said earlier, tomorrow, join us right here at 3:00 Central Time, and we'll be talking about the film Action Jackson. That's going to be fun. Martin will be here with Gary and Anima, the cast of thousands. So on behalf of myself and my good buddy Martin, I I want to thank everyone, and hopefully you guys will have a really, really, really good Thursday. Okay.
Done. Bye, everyone.
Y'all come back now. You hear?
Matt Damon.